Leadership, the action of leading a group of people or an organization. The definition is simple. However, the value of leadership goes beyond a simple explanation. You're checking out The Healthy Leader, discussing the different styles and the importance of great leadership. Now here's your host, Michelle Franklin.
Hey everyone, this is Michelle coming on tonight. Late night is 10:40 p.m. here located in Illinois where I am located, and I know it's 11:40 Eastern Standard Time. I'm not going to go into all the different time zones, but I just wanted to come on and kind of talk about loyalty on tonight. Loyalty... what can I say? Loyalty is an awesome character trait that every leader should have. And it's just not a trait that all leaders should have, but it's a trait that all people should have. I think that when it comes to loyalty, it all depends on what you're being loyal to. I never forget the first time I gave my life to the Lord, and the Lord told me, He said, "Daughter, your loyalty should never side with unrighteous behavior," because it didn't matter if people were wrong in a situation, because I had this sense of loyalty to them. I will always stand by them, even in that era. And when you are a person of loyalty, that's what you do. You kind of get conflicted in certain situations. And that's not leadership. Leadership is knowing when to step up and speak up, and knowing when to be the peace in the midst of chaos, being peace in the midst of a chaotic situation. And so sometimes you have to be disloyal just to be known as a loyal person. And what I mean by that is there are going to be some people who feel like you should stand with them, you should walk with them regardless of what they do. But you have to sometimes be disloyal to the people that you love, just so that you can stand in truth and in integrity. Because if the people that you love and the people that you are connected to is trying to get you to do things contrary to what you know is right, then you have to be the leader that's willing to stand on the side of right. And, leaders make the hard choices. Leaders make the hard decisions. And so it's not an easy task, but it's an accomplishable task. It's not easy, but you definitely can accomplish it. You don't have to be kind of over concerned about what other people are going to say, because as leaders you make hard decisions, and sometimes you will make that hard decision where you may have to end up being disloyal to a friend, a close friend, a family member, a loved one, because when you're wrong, you're wrong. Leaders have to be mature enough to say when you are wrong, you are wrong. It's just as simple as that. And a lot of leaders, they're not bold enough to say that, and so they're not bold enough to even stand up to their followers or to their teams and even say that you're wrong, because they don't want people to disconnect from them. And so leaders have to be loyal, but they have to be loyal to that which is valuable and worthy. They have to choose to be loyal to that which is right. If what they're trying to get you to be loyal to doesn't align with your standards or your belief, then you just have to carry on and move on from that particular situation. And so that's all I really wanted to come on here tonight, was to encourage you guys to walk in loyalty. One of the things that I will say also is loyalty comes from relationships. Okay, I want us to take a pause for a minute. Y'all know how I am. Okay, now we're back. I always like to take those pauses just to let you guys have a moment of reflection and a moment to really think about what I'm saying. But loyalty stems from relationships, which means you cannot really truly be loyal to a people who you refuse to establish relationships with. And one of the things that I notice among leadership is that leadership, especially when you look at the community of religion and you look at the church, sometimes we feel like we've given delegated authority to this person. This is the person that we want you to follow. And that's great. That's awesome. That's how it's supposed to be. Whoever you have delegated authority to, then we should follow. We should respect. We should respect your wishes and follow that person. But one of the things that I've learned throughout the course of years of me leading is that no matter who you put in position, the person that you've put in the position has to make a decision to establish relationships with the team that they have been called to lead. That's how you establish loyalty. You establish it through building relationships. You establish it through getting to know the people that you have been called to actually lead, that you have been called to actually walk with, getting to know them, getting to know, what kind of leader that they are before you just force something upon them. And so I've seen this happen quite a few times where people were placed into a position of leadership, and because they never took the time to establish relationship, this is why they lead from a positional perspective. They lead from a title perspective. Whenever you see people, and I want, if you got a pen and a piece of paper, listen, write that down. Whenever you see people, any leader, whenever you see them trying to lead based on power, based on position, and based on the title, is because they refuse to build relationships. When you build proper and relationships with people, people can trust you. That loyalty is built up. Between the two, you all have each other's back, where one work isn't lacking because of the other. And so sometimes, because we know everything rises and falls on leadership, sometimes we try to figure out, okay, everything that I point out to do, why the people not doing it, why they're not following it. And as I stated before on the last podcast, that sometimes people don't resist you, they resist the change that you come to bring. However, there are times when people are resisting you as a person, and sometimes they're resisting you as a person simply because you won't establish a good, solid relationship with them. You're not open to establishing a good, solid relationship with the people that you're supposed to establish a relationship with. And so because you won't do that, one of the things that the Bible says is that if you want friends, you must first show yourself friendly. Yeah, that's what it says. If you want friends, you must first show yourself friendly. And so, as a leader, just because you've been placed in a position of authority, just because someone has given you a little bit of power, just because someone has given you a title, doesn't mean that people are obligated to follow you. People will follow you out of their love for their leader, and they will destroy what you are building because they know everything rises and falls on leadership. So they'll leave you hanging out to dry so that the leader can show that you were never really equipped for the position that they put you in the first place. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I really want you guys to pause. Okay, now we're back. Have you ever been in a position like that? Have you ever been in a place where you felt like your team was trying to sabotage what you were doing? Here it is, you've been appointed to this new role, you've been appointed to this new position, and it seemed like the people that you are now been sent to lead is trying to sabotage you. want you guys to think about that. Sometimes people don't try to sabotage you because they're jealous of you and they want what you have. But sometimes people try to sabotage you because you fail to establish a good, solid relationship with them, and you're trying to lead them based on power, based on position, and based on your title. And because they see that, oh, well, I've been given delegated authority, so now I'm over this team. So because they see that, they will rather step back, let everything collapse, let everything fall, and let you take the bait, let you get in trouble for, or get set down, or get fired. Because we're talking about ministry and we're talking about marketplace. You can get fired for not performing to the highest level that you have been hired to actually perform in. And so your ability to win depends upon your team. Of course, we've heard the phrase, there's no I in team. So your ability to win actually depends on your team. So you really have to ask yourself, are you going to build relationships with your team? Are you going to build trust with your team? Are you going to build loyalty within your team so that your team can have that sense of loyalty within you, to where as though they feel like if he win or if she win, we all win. Nobody loses. When you don't build and you don't take time to build effective relationships with your team, when there's a loss, they don't feel like they were a part of that loss. You have to have people on the team that win or lose, they feel just as much pain as you feel because they were a part of what you were actually doing. That's how you get the loyalty of your team, through relationships, getting them to buy not only into the vision, but buying also into you. It's as simple as this. It's the law of the buy-in. People have to buy into you as a person, you as a leader, before they can buy into your vision. Sometimes there are people that buy into your vision first, and sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. You got to be careful of that, because when people buy into your vision first, sometimes they could be an opportunist looking to come steal your vision, but sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes people are just looking to buy into the vision because they believe in the vision. They believe in the vision that you have, and they think that you're doing great things, and they just want to be a part of it. And so that's all I wanted to come on here tonight. Again, I talked about the law of consistency on yesterday. If you guys missed that podcast, please go listen to that podcast on consistency. It's very important. That's why I'm up doing what I do. Even in the midst of not even feeling well, I'm trying to be consistent with what my heart has set out to do, which is to come on and to feed you guys with knowledge and understanding any area of leadership, okay? Now, there may be some other things we may talk about, other topics we may go over, but right now, this is strictly talking about leadership, because I want to make sure that you are a healthy leader. Again, loyalty. You need loyalty among your team. How do you get that? You get that by building strong, solid relationships. Number 3, you're showing yourself friendly on a consistent basis. That's what you're doing. Then once you're able to accomplish all of that, then you have the trust of your team. We ride together. We gonna live together. I ain't gonna say die together like Bad Boys for Life, because I don't want to think about that right now. But I pray that this blessed you guys, and that you guys have an awesome night. Until tomorrow, enjoy the rest of your night.